Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to a highly strategic, incredibly focused masterclass explainer on the preparation of ledger accounts for Cambridge AS and A-Level Accounting 9706. Listen, if you're joining me today, I know you're a focused learner. You aren't just looking to scrape by and pass. You're here to strategically master the exam and secure absolutely every possible mark on the table. Today, we're taking an intense, highly academic look straight into the examiner's playbook. We are literally going to decode exactly how the grading authorities construct these questions behind closed doors, and more importantly, how you can engineer the perfect, bulletproof response.
15%. I really want that number to sink in for a second. The preparation of ledger accounts accounts for approximately 15% of your total marks in Paper 2. Think about that. That is a massive chunk of your overall grade. This isn't just some minor subtopic you can afford to gloss over or cram the night before. This is a high-stakes priority. Mastering this specific area is quite literally the defining factor between a standard passing grade and an elite, top-tier A-star performance. You simply cannot afford to leave these marks behind.
So here is our strategic roadmap for today's explainer. We're covering 1. Core principles, 2. The technical methodology, 3. The examiner traps, and 4. Critical analysis and evaluation. Let's get right to it.
Section 1. Core Principles. Now, a super common misconception among candidates is that ledger accounts are purely about basic math and just balancing numbers on a page. But here's the reality. The numbers are just the output. The theory is the actual engine driving those numbers. So rote memorization of T-account formats? Yeah, that's simply not going to be enough. The entire theoretical architecture of this topic actually rests on your conceptual understanding. That means mastery of precise definitions, understanding exact causal relationships, and your ability to seamlessly integrate this knowledge with totally different areas of the syllabus. The examiners are specifically setting traps to see if you have a connected understanding that you can actively transfer to unfamiliar, complex contexts. Basically, if you treat ledger accounts in total isolation, I guarantee you are already losing marks.
And don't just take my word for it. This is direct, actionable intelligence gathered straight from the principal examiner reports. They stated, candidates referencing cross-topic connections achieve significantly higher marks. The examiners are literally handing us the secret to the top marking bands right there. Isolated, siloed thinking actively costs you points. You need to explicitly show the examiner that you understand exactly how, say, a depreciation adjustment in a ledger account ripples out through the entire financial statement structure. You have to connect the dots.
Moving on to Section 2, the technical methodology.
So in Cambridge Accounting, you have to realize that examiners don't just care about your final calculated answer. They actually award precious points for a clear, logical, procedural framework. We call these method marks. You could actually get the final number completely wrong, but still secure the vast majority of the marks if your methodology is airtight. To lock in every single one of those method marks, you absolutely must execute this standardized, step-by-step mathematical sequence. Step 1. Extract and deconstruct the data from the stimulus texts and tables. Step 2. Select the correct analytical framework. Step 3. Execute the analysis with crystal clear, step-by-step working in notation. And finally, Step 4. Verify your results and present them properly. Think of this process like a rigid algorithm. When you relentlessly follow this sequence, you essentially force the examiner to award you points at every single stage of the process. It completely insulates your grade against those tiny, frustrating calculation errors. And speaking of presenting your results, presentation is completely non-negotiable. The syllabus demands strict adherence to specific conventions. We are talking proper headings, correct terminology, appropriate formats, and clear annotation. This is a rigid requirement just to pass the examiner's initial visual scan. Think about it from their perspective. If your ledger account is super messy, if it lacks dates, or if you use informal, made-up abbreviations, the examiner instantly assumes a lack of professional competence. On the flip side, clean, precise formatting signals to the examiner that you are a top-tier candidate before they even check a single piece of your math.
All right, Section 3, the examiner traps.
We're now going to shift gears into a highly analytical breakdown of the principal examiner reports so you can see exactly where students bleed marks year after year. But real quick, right before we break down these fatal flaws, if you want a weekly strategic edge, make sure you hit subscribe to the channel Ace the Exams IGCSE O and A levels at acetheexam_IGCS and enable all notifications so you never miss a Cambridge breakthrough strategy. Okay, let's compare two totally different approaches to answering a question. On one side, we have a vague, generic formula dump answer that just lazily recites textbook theory.
On the other side, we have a highly tailored, context-specific response that links directly back to the exact business scenario provided in the stimulus. Now, the generic answer might be technically factually correct, but it scores incredibly poorly. Why? Because it completely ignores the unique scenario of the business in the question prompt.
Seriously, the urgency of this warning cannot be overstated. Listen to this examiner alert. The classic mistake is providing generic answers not specific to the question context. Always link every point to the given scenario. Context is the absolute key to unlocking the top marking bands. Let's say a question gives you a stimulus about a manufacturing business struggling with inventory valuation. Well, your ledger account notes in your evaluations must specifically reference that manufacturing context. Giving them a generic textbook definition of inventory is going to earn you next to nothing. You have to anchor your knowledge to their specific scenario.
Let's systematically recap these 3 fatal flaws straight from the actual examiner reports. 1. Answers are too vague. Examiners demand highly specific technical details. 2. Forgetting to verify format and presentation. You are basically throwing away easy marks to pure sloppiness. And 3. Failing to apply the specific context given in the stimulus. I'm going to challenge you right now. After this explainer, pull out your absolute last practice paper and analyze your answers honestly. Did you fall into any of these 3 traps? I promise you, identifying and fixing these exact errors in your own work is the absolute fastest way to instantly boost your grade. Finally, Section 4, Critical Analysis and Evaluation.
This right here is how you deploy higher-order critical thinking to absolutely dominate those high-tariff 9 to 15 mark questions. These are the questions that truly separate the A-stars from the rest of the pack. There is a massive architectural difference between a merely descriptive answer and an evaluative one. To actually reach that elite evaluative level, you must fulfill these specific requirements. First, you have to identify the limitations and assumptions made within the given accounting data. Second, you have to evaluate alternative interpretations or approaches. And crucially, third, you must make evidence-based, perfectly justified recommendations. Top scorers don't just blindly accept the numbers given to them. They actively question the assumptions behind them, and they justify every single strategic business decision with hard, undeniable evidence extracted straight from the ledger data.
So we can essentially synthesize this entire masterclass down into this core, highly memorable 3-pillar methodology for problem solving. Pillar 1, deconstruct. Identify the givens, extract the data, and explicitly select your framework. Pillar 2, solve. Execute the math systematically with perfect, spotless presentation to secure every single method mark. Pillar 3, evaluate. Check the numbers for reasonableness, analyze the broader business impact, and make those justified, context-specific recommendations. Burn this into your memory. This is your ultimate examiner's playbook.
So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this provocative thought. Will your next ledger account simply show a flat grid of numbers, or will it tell the full, context-specific story of that business? True mastery in Cambridge Accounting 9706 lies in uncovering the narrative behind the numbers. If you found this masterclass powerful today, remember that absolutely crushing Cambridge exams requires consistent, relentless strategy. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for Ace the Exam's IGCSE O&A levels at acetheexam_IGCE, turn on the notification bell so you catch all our future exam hacks, and leave a comment down below right now with your specific target grade. Keep analyzing, keep evaluating, and I'll see you in the next explainer.